today I'm going to tell you something which is not exactly new news, and that is, it's become patently obvious, if we needed any confirmation, that the ANC just do not understand business. And, like suddenly it's popping out everywhere. Do you know, how about this? South Africa is getting into a lot of trouble at the World Trade Organization because they keep on blocking progress and changes to the world rules of trade. And nobody seems to understand why. So let me explain. The World Trade Organization has always been this place that sort of sets the rules for global trade. And one of the big issues has been trading with, you've got rich countries and well-developed countries, and then you've got developing countries. And the World Trade Organization has really tried to change rules to help developing countries. It is one of the good guys in the whole story, to try and balance trade, because it's in nobody's interest to have poor countries. It would be so much better if countries traded and they did really well. Along comes South Africa. In fact, to be fair, there's 3 countries that habitually stop all of these changes. And it's South Africa, India, and Turkey. Who knows why? The Financial Times writer, this is the Financial Times in England, Alan Beattie, says that South Africa belongs to the small group of countries that includes India and Turkey, not Turkey anymore, Turkey and South Africa, that habitually block progress and change. They've done it twice. And this now goes back over years. The frustration is just crazy. The first blockage was a change in the rules that facilitated investment in developing countries, that allowed investors to get added security with their investment, that you're going to get your money back. And the World Trade Organization would kind of underwrite it. It just makes a lot of sense, because otherwise you wouldn't risk it by buying goods and services from Ghana if you weren't sure about their financial system. But if it's underwritten by the World Trade Organization, it would be something that you would do. Otherwise, you end up with old colonial patterns where countries have to deal through another country to another country, and it's cost Africa a lot and some of the other emerging countries around the world. But this specifically has hurt Africa. Who's there blocking these rules that need to be changed? None other than South Africa. The second blockage is there needed to be an agreement around e-commerce, because e-commerce, you can imagine when the World Trade Organization was set up, it was pre-e-commerce times, and along comes e-commerce, and they needed to find rulings that exempted developing countries from paying customs and tariffs. Put this forward. Who stands in the way? South Africa, India, and Turkey. These have actually been going on for years. Now, South Africa actually has an ambassador to the World Trade Organization. His name is Mzikiso Qobo. And quite clearly, the guy's out of his depth. I mean, send somebody that understands business. But we are really, really angering many African countries specifically that can't work out why South Africa stands in the way of doing all this trade. We've got to become more business literate in this country. My word, some of our cadres still think we're in the Cold War, and I don't know, they still think that we send stuff with paper. But hey, so South Africa is causing a lot of frustration. Which brings us on to the next bit of news, and that is around companies and individuals who have been blacklisted. These are people that have literally broken the laws and the rules of trading with the state, and they have been found to be guilty, and there's out of 467 corrupt companies and individuals that were meant to be blacklisted, only one has been blacklisted out of 467. And who's meant to be doing it? None other than the presidency. Because, we've got the super presidency where the president's surrounded by hundreds of people that all think he's wonderful. But the problem is that nobody can do their work. Now, these people were meant to be blacklisted last year already. This came out, by October, November of last year. But I got the feeling that these are well-connected cadres. These are some of the comrades and their families. And the presidency is just dragging their heels. South Africa has got, you may say, almost over-regulated rules about dealing with the state in this PFMA, the Financial Management Act, right, which tells you exactly what you can and can't do with the state. As we know from a million different cases, this gets breached so regularly, and sometimes it's material. People have literally stolen money, and they shouldn't be dealing with the state. The presidency is meant to blacklist them, and Treasury is meant to oversee it. Well, nobody has done it, and now they are apologizing. Poor old Songezo Zibi, who is the leader of Rise Mzansi and the head of SCOPA, which is the Committee on Public Accounts, the Select Committee on Public Accounts that overlooks these kind of things, doesn't know what else to do. Because how do you hold the presidency to account? They just say, oh, sorry, we meant to do it, but we didn't. Come on, guys. Like, really. In this case, you got to feel for the people that have done the work to get these people blacklisted, and now the politicians that should just be pressing the button or putting them on a list or somehow getting them excluded from doing business with government just won't do it. And then they wonder why we all believe that the ANC is accused number one, largely because they are. They are corrupt and they will not clean up their act. This is an easy one to clean up. We're going to stay on this and see how quickly this happens. We'll have Songezo Zibi here for an interview to discuss the progress of the blacklisting of people that have stolen your and my money. That's it today from the Political Insider. Subscribe to the channel. Growing nicely. It's great to have you with us. We'll keep bringing you these pieces of information. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you again on the Political Insider.